Hey, Caleb, how you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Doing great, Caleb. Today, I want to talk about your premium package service that you mentioned, and you're going to explain to us in a few seconds. Includes email and LinkedIn,
Yep.
so that buyers viewing this service offer in the CloudTest marketplace can decide whether they want to invite you to an interview for their service request or not. There's three questions I want to cover, so I'm going to start with the first one. Who is the best fit for this service offer?
Yeah. So if we're talking specifically industries, the ones that we most commonly have worked with are like executive search firms, marketing agencies, um, video production companies, right? I would say those are like the three main ones. Now, in terms of, let's say, like employee size, revenue, it's usually those smaller ones, right? So let's say 10 to 200 employees, like headcount, that's usually what it looks like. Revenue probably under 5 million, under 3 million. But like more specifically, let's say the stage with which the company is at, it's probably a company that has, look, they have the product or the service laid out. They know their ICP pretty well, but they really need help building a predictable system that they can scale with, right? They're probably going through like a feast or famine, um, like on a monthly basis, going through that, and they really just need something more predictable that can scale with them.
They're hitting probably a plateau and you're helping them reach the next, but ideally they have done sales before they have a target.
Yeah.
Is there an ideal, let's say, average deal value or contract value, annual contract value that you recommend?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would just say as long as it's above $5,000, $6,000, it's a good fit. If it's lower than that, yeah, just not a good fit for us.
All right, fantastic. Let's go to my next question, which is, what are the components of this service offer, the premium package?
Yeah, definitely. So we got email and LinkedIn as the actual channels. So we've got the software that we're using, so we provide that. Obviously, the team that's working on the project. Um, those are kind of, I guess, the features.
When you mention team, do they get dedicated resources or is it a team that manages multiple accounts? Help me understand that.
Yeah, so some individuals are dedicated. So, for example, like the account manager is dedicated, but individuals like deliverability, right? The actual people who are making sure we're landing the inbox, no, they're working on multiple accounts at that point.
Perfect. All right, and that leads me to my next question. Well, actually, before we jump onto the next one, you mentioned this is a service offer for outbound to generate. This would be sales qualified meetings, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, perfect. The outcome is sales qualified meetings. You use email and LinkedIn to get there. Is there a number of touches when it comes to the sequences you use, like a minimum, maximum that you recommend?
Yeah, I mean, we're always starting with about 5 touches. The only thing though is, look, if we optimize on a weekly basis. So if we're seeing week 3, it's just not enough. We're not getting the results that we want. We're going to identify why we're not hitting our goal. And sometimes that could be number of touches. You might add some more in, right? So we're adjusting as we go in order to hit our goal.
Okay, perfect. So that takes me then to my third question, third and last question, which is what can a client expect in the first 120 days of buying this service? You already mentioned it includes email and LinkedIn. Tell us how that journey would look like if they decide to buy from you today.
Yeah. So let's break it up probably in like three different steps. Maybe is like that first one is, let's call it onboarding. We call it the outreach optimizer blueprint. We're really setting up who's the ICP, what does that buyer's window look like, just understanding more in depth who should we be reaching out to, what are their pain points, splitting that up into different verticals, then creating the copy, right? Getting everything set up the first couple of weeks, warming up email addresses. Once we kick off, I would say that first month and a half is a lot of just weekly optimization, getting towards that goal. And then from there, it's more so identifying, okay, great, this is a predictable model for our client. Let's scale it up based off what they want and the demand that they need. And the other option is like, hey, it's not working as well as we thought it would. Here's the next steps that we need to go, and we need to solidify that offer a little bit more, for example. Get more clear on who we should be targeting, right? Things like that.
Perfect. So it sounds like you go through first onboarding, go live, optimization of the campaign, and once you find a good formula, then you go ahead and scale. Going back to the onboarding, does it have a fee if you want to cover a little bit of what are the deliverables there?
Yeah, definitely. So it has a $1,000 fee. That's the cost of the Outreach Optimizer Blueprint. everything that's included in there is like the copy, the contacts, the ICP matrix.
How
We
many
have
contacts can they expect?
contacts, 1,000 a
Yeah.
month minimum. Yeah.
1,000 a month. So that 1,000 of the onboarding fee would be for a lead list of 1,000 that you're going to use to run the first examples on that first month, correct? Like,
Mhm.
does the onboarding last a month, or could it be more, less?
No, I mean, it's usually 2 weeks. So the way that it works though is like we're not counting. Look, if someone's on an agreement with us for 2 months, for example, we're not counting the 2 months until that outreach optimizer blueprint is over and we're ready to kick off. But usually that takes 2.5 weeks. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So that goes through the onboarding. After paying the onboarding, this is almost like a diagnosis. This package that you mentioned, this initial fee, is a diagnosis. If the readout is green, then you proceed with the service. If it's not, there's probably other offers. But let's say that the readout is green after paying the onboarding fee. What would be the minimum offer? Because this is not a retainer-based service. This is a pay per performance. Is that correct?
It is, yeah. So we usually our minimum in terms of sales qualified meetings a month is 7, and then we charge $250 per booked meeting, qualified and shown. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, Caleb, that pretty much covers high level what we wanted to share about your premium package. Thank you so much for providing these details so that buyers of this service in the CloudTest marketplace can decide whether they want to invite you for an interview for their request or not. I'll catch you on the next one, Caleb. Thank you.
Awesome. See ya.